always being weird in this weird fucking place. Trying to keep it up with me. I be moving at my pace, 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 pace. I be moving at my pace.
Can't do these sober. Oh man, this is the second solo podcast I've done. Welcome to the Rancho podcast. Currently 2:06 in the morning, so that's pretty cool. I thought I fixed my sleeping schedule, but I guess not. About 20 minutes ago, I ate a full English breakfast. Unexpectedly, I didn't know what to eat, and I grabbed random shit in my fridge, and I ended up cooking baked beans, tomatoes, and turkey bacon. It's pretty fucking gross, but I don't know. So you know how the vibe is. I'm starting that over. Fuck that.
Bitches always being weird in this weird fucking place. Trying to keep it up with me. I be moving at my pace, 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 pace. I be moving at my pace.
Can't do these sober. All right, this is the second solo podcast that I'm doing. It is currently 2:07 a.m. Can't do that with people, huh? Can I? I thought I fixed my sleeping schedule, but definitely not. I just ate a full English breakfast. I got home, didn't know what to eat, and I ended up just eating fucking barbecue beans and tomatoes and turkey bacon. Fuck, my life is fucked up. Pretty eventful week so far. Starting off, me and a group of friends went to Mammoth Lakes. We're jumping right into it. We went camping, and god damn, that was pretty fun. Oh, and also, I'm gonna dial it back. This is the second one I've done solo. Mentioned that already, but it's all good. The first one, I'm gonna post it now, but I feel like in the future I'm gonna delete it. A lot of like little mistakes I didn't know. One microphone was like covering my face, which I guess isn't that big of a deal, but I gotta dial these back. I was like roasting pretty hard, and especially on a charity fundraiser. Didn't even get the name right. Turned out after editing the last one I did, completely fucked up the name. Wasn't even like correct. I still don't know what it is, but it's all good. Also, I'm gonna learn to start cussing less on these things. I feel like when I edit it, it's super cringe. I'm like, I'm cussing way too much. So, a little thing I'm gonna work on. But yeah, so me and a group of friends went to Mammoth Lakes, went camping, really fun. We got up there, and one of our friends was bringing 3 girls with him. Now, is that fun for me? Not really, because if you're camping for 3 days with girls and you're supposed to be like, the idea was we're going there to fish for the most part. It's like most of our idea. There's nothing more unattracting and disgusting, and also like kind of like demoralizing, catching, reeling in, and gutting a fucking fish right in front of girls that you don't know. And they're pretty cute girls, by the way. Gotta mention that. But it was definitely a fun trip for sure. And both those girls were late 20s, 28, 29, and not a big deal, but it's just like, I feel like if I'm camping, I'm sleeping in the area. If I'm even around girls, I have to act different, to act more like polite and stuff. And it's funny because, I'm kind of always trying to like not let loose and just kind of like keep my shit together. And it's just kind of like that male mentality of just kind of like not embarrassing yourself, which I did a great job in doing, except the opposite end, where one night I thought I shit my pants, and because we were all on Ambien, I'll get to that point, but I thought I shit my pants. I did not shit my pants, but I went to check to see if I shit my pants. I went to the bathroom, checked, did not shit my pants, but I figured, fuck, I'm here. I'm just gonna go, let it all out. And it's nighttime. Now, if you're camping, usually there's like little bathrooms near your campsites. I go to the bathroom right next to our campsite. We had our own kind of little, it wasn't our own, but it was right next to us, so it felt like our own. And I go in there, and it's dark. And I'm like, doing my business. and the two girls start walking towards the bathroom. Now, there's nothing more how would I say, fucking horrifying than having to poop while there's two very attractive girls kind of standing outside the door, let alone they don't even know you're in there. Now, I'm sitting there, I hear them coming, it's dark, it's pitch black in this fucking bathroom. I hear them coming and I'm like, oh fuck, I don't want them to know I'm in here. So as they're walking up to the door, I turn my flashlight on, right? And so it kind of like hoping like the light illuminates under the door so they get the idea that there's somebody in this bathroom. Now there's one right next to me. Okay, there's two bathrooms. They get the idea. Cool. Perfect plan. The plan worked perfectly. And it worked so well that when they came up to the door, I hear them like, oh, I think there's someone in the door. They they knock on the door, right? And I'm like, oh, they probably just know it's me. And I'm like, yeah. And I knew that they didn't know it was me because of the response. They're like, oh, I'm sorry, we're going next door. Like, you know, because I knew them well enough that they would be like, oh, okay, no, it's fine, Spence, we're going next door. You know, the response, they did not know was me. Cool. Now they go next door to the bathroom, right attached on the other side of this fucking brick wall. And I'm like, oh, you know what? Me being the funny guy I am, I should fuck with them because they don't know it's me. I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, oh, should I be like, hey, you guys from around here? You know, like just make a conversation up like with some random camper. Because there was like 80 campsites in this like, you know, whole park. And so I'm like sitting there thinking, I'm like, oh, well, no, I shouldn't say that. What should I say? As I'm thinking of what I should say, one of them goes in the bathroom next door and unleashes the wildest, loudest, grossest diarrhea shit I've ever heard in my time. The farts were echoing in the toilet, and I can hear her painting the inside of the toilet. And now, when I hear that, I've already established, I'm not gonna fucking say anything. I'm just gonna sit there until they leave, and once they leave, I'm just gonna like leave after. Like, you know, it was very weird to me because not only was I hearing her like insides absolutely exploding out of her, but it was weird because, you know, if it was me and a friend and my friend went in there and just destroyed the toilet, I would be laughing. I'd be like, dude, what was that? You know, we would be talking about it. We'd be laughing about it. Both these girls were absolutely dead silent. And I'm like, this is hilarious right now. Like, not for my position, but for them, it's like, how are they not laughing? And, you know, the weirdest thing to me also was that usually when in these bathrooms, any type of like bathroom, any type of like restaurant or bars, you know, any bathroom, usually when you grab toilet paper and roll it through, you hear it go, you know, you hear like the mechanisms, you know, the plastic and the metals and everything, like you hear them pulling the toilet paper, right? And there was none of that. No, I swear I told the story to somebody and they thought they maybe brought their own toilet paper in there, which is not really accurate. But who knows? Maybe I just didn't hear it. Anyways, the first girl gets up, leaves, and I'm like, that was fucking disgusting. Second girl comes in. These motherfuckers tag team back in. This girl goes in, and I'm like, oh, they're still here. This girl goes in. She doesn't poop, right? From what I know, from what I heard. But she does unload a lot of farts in this toilet. So much so that it also, like the first girl, echoed through the toilet bowl. Now, this is really gross to talk about. Now, assuming that most of you probably don't find this funny, considering that's kind of gross. But I thought it was fucking hilarious that I'm sitting in silence, pitch black, in a fucking bathroom in Mammoth Lakes, listening to two very attractive older women unleash their bowels into a public bathroom. And I'm sitting there, and I'm also an Ambien too, by the way, which I don't ever take. But I'll get to that in a sec. So they both just unleash their farts. That one also don't hear any toilet paper. They get out and they leave, and I'm like, okay, that was just weird. But yeah, so I just thought it was really funny. But I had a stash in high school. I had a water or a Arizona iced tea container. You can just like you pop off the top. It's like a little storage thing. In high school, there was a time where we were taking Ambien for like a week. You know, it's just I'm not really into drugs at all or anything like that, but I thought it'd be just kind of fun to just do. So my parents had prescription Ambien, which if you don't know, Ambien is a prescribed sleeping medication and also the same medication that Roseanne from the show Roseanne took and was tweeting racist stuff on Twitter. Now I bring that up because when you're on Ambien, you definitely should not be going anywhere near your phone because you do text and you send out the stupidest shit. Which I kind of did, but it's not really worth talking about. But so I had this container with all these like I got a bunch of Ambien from like the medicine drawer or whatever, and me and my friends were like taking them every now and then, or like a Friday Saturday for like maybe a week or two. And my parents found it in my car, and they took it out, and I knew they found it because it wasn't there. Because I also had a vape in there, I think, and also an old Molly that was in there that a friend gave me from like a EDC event. But they take it and they 3 days later, like, is this yours? I'm like, oh, no, it's my friend's, John's or whatever. He just kind of left it in my car. He didn't want it. So it's just been sitting there. I'm like, okay, well, whatever. So they hid it up until about 2 years ago. I fucking found it because I was cleaning up in the house. I was like, wow, this is insane. I found this. And the reason why that's kind of important, I feel like, is because these Ambiens are from 2013 and it's 2022. Now, usually I feel like with certain things go bad. Now, obviously with prescription medicine, it does go bad. Now, in my head, not really knowing anything about medicine, my idea is that it's the medicine, the pills, the Ambiens aren't bad. They're made with old chemicals that were probably later fixed throughout the process of making new Ambien, which means that I feel like the old Ambien, the ones that I had, were very, very strong. Maybe not the case. It just seemed that way because I don't ever take it, and I thought it'd be fun to bring it for this camping trip because, there's no better time. So we all take Ambien for the most part, everybody except for those two girls, and we have a fun time. So much so that I thought I shit my pants. But regardless of that, you kind of like see and hear things. Like you're literally, Ambien is the type of drug that you take and you're like dreaming, but you're awake. Like if you fight it, which I've never actually taken Ambien. I've taken Ambien a few times to actually try to sleep and it does not work. I take Ambien to try to sleep and I'm actually cleaning up my room like a meth head and I'm looking outside I swear to God, at one point I took it and I opened my window and there's a street light. And in my head, I thought it was Casper the ghost. And I'm like, yo, Casper, get in, get in my room. Like, what are you doing out there? It's cold out, So it's kind of like it's like your dream state. Now, the fun thing about that is that our campsite kind of overlooked this little like area. And I was hearing and seeing figures. I was specifically hearing people, kind of. That sounds very schizophrenic. It's funny because I was explaining this to my friends, and they're like, "I will never take that drug. You sound like you're schizophrenic." I'm like, "No, it's fine. You don't really know how to walk, or you can barely talk. So it's like you're a baby again. It's kind of fun." But I wouldn't recommend taking it recreationally. But we did, and I thought I was hearing and seeing people. Now, at one point, me and my friend Ethan were on it, so were others. But at one point, I hear very distinctly in the woods somebody say, "No, we can't go over there. We don't even know them." Now, realistically, that would be fucking terrifying. But I knew it was just the drugs, and also when you're on Ambien, you're not scared. You're just kind of like, like a little. It's weird. Take it, try it, find it yourself. I hear that, and we're kind of cleaning up to go to bed, and I turn around and I go, "No, you guys are fine. Just come over. We're fine. We're cool." Because they sounded like friendly in my head. And my friend Ethan's like, what the fuck is, he's been on here before. He's like, who are you talking to? I was like, oh, there's people over there. And the funny thing is usually if I'm like trolling or fucking with people, I can't keep a straight face. But not on Ambien. On Ambien, I'm literally like dead serious. I'm like, no, there's people over there. They're fine. I just told them they can come hang out with us, but they said they don't know us, and I just wanted to let you know, like, let them know we're friendly. And he's just like, what? I was like, yeah, no, they're over there. It's like, where? And he had a flashlight, and I was like, no, just they're a little scared and stuff, but it got to the point where, right before we go in the bed, I hear them go, sleep in the hammock. We had hammocks set up outside our tent. And I was like, oh, no, I don't want to sleep in the hammock. He's like, what? Like, they want me to sleep in the hammock tonight, but I don't want to do that. Like, it's going to be cold out. And it just doesn't seem nice at all. Like, I want my sleeping bag. It's all set up in there. And he's like, dude, what the fuck is going on? And like, we get in the tent and I tell them that I was like, oh, they're kind of mad. He's like, why are they mad? I'm like, well, they wanted to hang out with us. And I said, no, we're going to bed. And he's like, well, are they mad at me? I was like, dude, they're kind of mad at you. And he's like, what the fuck? What do you mean they're mad at me? I'm like, dude, you're fine. They're just upset. They want to hang out with us. They're fine. Just go tell them good night. And this is the guy who just like doesn't, like, he's like the master of trolling. He gets bullshit. And this guy, I convinced him that they were real, so much so that I said, dude, go tell them goodnight. Because, like, they'll tell you it's fine. It's like midnight, and this guy's poking his head outside this tent. And let you know, like, there are people all around us. Pokes his head on and goes, goodnight. I was like, did they say anything? He's like, no. I was like, dude, you gotta say it louder, man. They're not gonna hear you. Good night. He like looks back at me. I was like, I think you pissed him off, man. And he just like was like freaking out in his mind. And then our other friend was on Ambien too, and he was just like, dude, you pissed him off, man. They're mad at you. And it progressed more and more so that we were laying in bed and the ghost things were kind of dissipated, but we're laying in bed and you're just kind of like, you really shouldn't be on your phone and do anything because you do things you wouldn't normally do. And it's not like alcohol things. It's just ambient things, or you don't know. You probably don't know. But what I did was I went on my phone and I YouTubed a video of a grizzly bear roaring loud. And I connected to my friend Ethan's Bluetooth speaker and I blasted a grizzly bear roaring in the middle of the night at a campsite. And it was so fucking loud that the girls next to us woke up. The campsite next to us, those people woke up, and our other friends who were in a car woke up. Now, I was playing it, and it was so funny. I'll play it over. I'll like watch. This is the video right here.
Go. We're gonna get in trouble
So that was the video, and I turned it off because I see lights on our tent. We had a huge tent. I see lights in the tent. I was like, oh shit, uh-oh. The campsite next to us, people got out of their tents and they were walking around our campsite looking for what they thought was a bear. Now, the funny thing about that is, one, why would you do that? It's like they were like flashlighting, like looking around and stuff. I'm like, if there's a fucking bear that you actually think is outside your tent, don't go out there. What you gonna do? Just stay in the tent, maybe? At one point, there was like a golf cart. At one point, I think they probably got in contact with like the hostess because at one point a golf cart was driving past the campsite when they had their flashlights on. They were looking for what they thought was a grizzly bear, but realistically, it was just a YouTube video. So that was really funny in our heads, and never really got trouble for that. I guess you can't. I mean, could you get in trouble for that? Probably, but fuck it. We're risking it all. Fun trip. Anyways, now the most interesting thing about that entire camping trip was at the very end when I walked in through my front door. Now, to backtrack a little bit, I believe that the Benjamin Button disease exists. Now, if you don't know what that is, there's a movie called, I think, Benjamin Button disease or Benjamin Button. It's basically a fairy tale, not a fairy tale. It's a non-fiction fucking fairy tale. It's a fictional movie about a guy who was born, but he aged in reverse. So he was born at like 100. And then as he gets older in life, he gets younger and he dies as a baby. Now, the reason why I think that exists is because my dad is 64 years old. And in my head, I think that when you get to a certain age, which I think is around 62, could be earlier if your brain's mush earlier. But the reason why I say that is because it seems like I'm the adult in the house now, where it's just me and my dad living here. My brother and sister moved out. Mom kicked the bucket. She's dead. It's all good. So it's just me and my dad in this house, and he travels a lot, which is completely has nothing to do with the story. But what does have to do with the story is that I constantly clean up, vacuum, and do like maid work at this house just because I prefer it. Like I'm actually like, I love organizing stuff. And he comes home and he like trashes the house and just like watches TV and just like, it's constantly just like, it's like reverse aging, you know? Like as a kid, you're never picking up after yourself and your parents are like, dude, come on, pick up after yourself, and they do it for you. Now it's like, I'm taking care of this guy. Now, the reason why that's important and why I'm talking about it is because it's almost like he doesn't think logically anymore. Where I come home and I walk in to my living room, and I go like this. I look up to the ceiling. What's on the ceiling? It's this. There is a huge hole in the ceiling. Now I'm just kind of like looking at this, right? And I'm immediately pissed off because I know I'm the one who's gonna have to fix that. Okay, so now I'm just like, why is there a huge hole in the ceiling? Oh, Dad just walks into frame. He looks at me and goes, you see that? I'm like, yes. Yeah. What is that? Why is that there? He goes, let me show you something. He continues to take me upstairs into his room. We go into his bathroom, to which I see this. Another, preferably bigger, double the size, massive hole in his shower. Now, I'm even more pissed because the shower is made out of tile. And also because I'm the one who's gonna have to fix that. Because I sure as hell know he won't. So now I'm like, okay, why is that there? And he goes, we had a leak. A leak? What are you talking about? And he goes, yeah, the ceiling was like leaking downstairs, and like there was a leak somewhere in the shower faucet and like the hot and cold pipes. And I was like, oh, so is it fixed? And he goes, no. A guy came, looked at the pipeline, saw that it was leaking, didn't know where it was leaking, capped it off, whatever the fuck that means, because it didn't look like he did anything to it. Had a plumber come, plumber checked it out, didn't know what was going on either. And I'm like, okay, cool. Gonna have a huge hole in the shower and the ceiling of the house for probably months. Well, what are we gonna do? So he's like, okay, well, we have the water turned off up front because because if it's on, it's leaking through the roof, which we don't want that. So he goes, you want to take a shower? And I was like, yeah, I want to take a shower. I just got back from camping. Preference, I did shower every day when we were camping. But the drive home and stuff, I didn't shower that day. So I was like, yeah, I obviously want to shower. So he goes, okay, cool. I'm going to turn the water on. I was like, perfect. Let's get all this dirt off, and hopefully I can relax a little bit and not be so pissed off that there's holes in the wall. Okay. Turns on the water. I go up to the shower next door, parallel to his bathroom. It's like the middle upstairs bathroom. And I go in there and take a shower. And I get out of the shower. Mind you, I've been home for 15 minutes. I get out of the shower. I step out of the shower. I step on a pad. It's a fucking mat for, when you get out of the shower and you're wet. This is weird. Why is this mat already wet? Because I just got out of the shower and this mat should not be wet. Let's investigate. Why is this mat wet? Well, there's a faucet, a sink, and pipelines right next to this shower. Let's take a look. Open up the cabinets underneath the sink. It sure seems wet in here. There's a little loose pipe right here. I see it dripping. That's interesting. Hey, Dad. Come here, check this out. Comes upstairs. Did you even bother to check this bathroom? He goes, no. Like, is that where the leak is coming from? The little loose faucet hose? He gets in there and goes, huh. That is where it's leaking. And I just look at him and I just go, you put a massive hole in the ceiling and your bathroom and didn't bother to check the next room over sink? He goes, no. And I said, I was gone for 3 days. And you do this shit? And he's like, well, problem solved. And I said, yeah. Problem is solved, huh? No, I wasn't too upset. Because the next day, I was flying to San Francisco. And the cool thing about that is that it was fully paid for by a friend of mine. And I'm with another friend and his wife. And it was awesome because it was a trip that lasted only legitimately 29 hours. We flew out of Ontario, landed in Oakland, Ubered to downtown San Francisco. Were there for like 2 hours, drove to an Orville Peck concert, which is he's a country artist, really fun. Left, went back to downtown San Francisco, went to bar hopping, woke up the next morning, bright and early, like 10 a.m. They went to a Giants baseball game, and then went back and then flew home. And we did so much in 29 hours, and it was so awesome. But the fun thing about that is going through the airport TSA security. It's so funny because what I came to realize is they take it so seriously. If you've never been to an airport, you show up, you have to show them your ID, makes sense. Then you go through security, you have to take off your shoes, take off your belt, take everything out of your pockets, put it in a cubby along with your backpack, and your carry-on, which is usually your clothes. I kind of have like a little backpack carry-on, doesn't matter. And then also specifically, if you have a computer in a backpack, you have to go through a specific area, and then you go through this, you go through this, fuck would you call it? A like CAT scan, and a fucking CAT scan. You put your arms up and it just scans you, like it just shoots radiation at you. Don't know that, but anyways, they scan you. You get out. You had to put your shoes on, put your belt on, stuff like that. Usually, there's a fat line. There wasn't when we went. But it's funny because they take it so seriously, so much so that one of our friends, or my friend, was in a wheelchair, and they thought he had some shit on him, so they're asking him to take off his jacket, which is super hard for him, and like we're just like giving him all this shit, and it's so much, it's like a big deal. I get it though, but we get on the plane, and you can get a drink when you're on the plane, and I always remember when I would fly with my dad, he would ask for a can of something, like a can of ginger ale, a can of water. You can do that because usually they just give you a cup of just ice and water, or if you ask for Coke, it's ice and Coke. But if you ask for a can of Coke, they actually bring you a full can, a cup of ice, and you get a lot more drink. You get a lot more bang for your buck. Now, I asked for water, and they give me a can of water. Now, what I remember as a kid is if you squeeze the middle of a can, and then you grab the top and bottom, and you twist and you twist and you twist so hard that you can actually rip the can in half. It has to be very like creasingly sealed. And that becomes two very fucking sharp objects. Now, the thing about that is, one, I would never do this on a plane. But two, the fact that you go through so much security, so much hassle, to prevent you to bring on anything that could be dangerous, let alone one of my friends couldn't get through because he had an 8 milliliter, 8 ounce facial wash container. And he had to go out, he had to leave, he had already gone through TSA. At the very end, they tell you, like the very end when you get your stuff is when they tell you, you got to go back. Like, you throw this away, you check on your bag. Like, they should check that before you go through anything. Which probably wouldn't really flow so well, but he had to go all the way back, check it on, come all the way back. We were he almost was like pretty late to the flight, but we still made it. Now, I thought, you do all this stuff, let alone you get a can of Coke on a fucking airplane. You can rip it in half, and you have two very sharp knives. Now, with that being said, I'm probably not going to be able to fly anymore, but let alone, I'm never going to do that on a plane, but it is an option. It is something that you could actually do, and I thought it was like, what? Like, how? Okay, I guess no one really thought about this. This probably hasn't been done yet, so hopefully it's never been done, or never will be done. But, so we fly to Oakland. We land, we Uber to our hotel in San Francisco, unpack, kind of shower, get ready, and then we drive right back to Oakland, and we go to an Orville Peck concert. And if you don't know, Orville Peck is a country artist, like I had already mentioned, but he is very, very, how would you say, homosexual. He has a mask, he covers his face, but he's got like tentacles of just like beads, it's like a fashion. It's actually kind of cool. It's like a fashion mask, but he sings country songs mostly about his love for men, and it's pretty good actually. But where we were at was we were for sure the minorities of straight people. Like, it was very clear that there were like people really dressed up, which is cool. But what was fascinating to me was at the very end, we turn around and there's, right as it ends, I turn around and there's a girl standing there, and I'm like, oh, hello. She goes, hi, what's your name? I was like, Spencer. She goes, I'm Kayla. Where are you from? And I said, oh, Rancho Cucamonga. She goes, I've never heard of that. She looks at my friend. She just like goes, hey, how you doing? She goes, oh, is this your boyfriend? And I'm like, oh, no, it's my friend. And, you know, as a jokester, my friend kisses me on the cheek. But she goes, oh, it is, huh? Can I have your number? And I said, yeah, sure. And well, she gives me hers. And I was like, whoa, cool. I was pretty fucked up, too, by the way. I was really drunk, was kind of barely processing what was happening. But I thought it was pretty cool. She left, and my friend absolutely lost his mind because he was more coherent than I was. And to him, it seemed as if I was gonna get trafficked, sex trafficked. Like he thought, like he's like, this girl's gonna rape you, and I was like, oh, chill the fuck out, bro. We're still in the venue. Don't be yelling that shit out. And he's just like, what the fuck? What the fuck? And I was like, dude, relax, dude. It's just a number. And I'm like, I gotta go pee. He's following me around. I was like, what the fuck was that? What was that? That was not cool. I was like, what's wrong with it? You know, just keep numbers. What's wrong with that? We go in the bathroom, and now when a venue ends and there's hundreds of people there, everyone goes to the bathroom. So the bathrooms are absolutely full. And my friend is screaming at the top of his lungs, you're gonna get sex trafficked. She's gonna rape you. She's gonna rape you. And I'm like, chill the fuck out. And one guy goes, who's gonna rape who? And he goes, some girl's gonna rape my friend. I'm fucking worried. And like, he was kind of joking, but like, kind of like, you know, he's over exaggerating it, but kind of serious. And I'm like, dude, I'm washing my hands. I'm laughing so hard though, because I thought this is hilarious. And we like immediately leave. We Uber back to the hotel, and he goes on for a 2-minute and 40. Well, it's way longer. It's like 6 minutes. I'm gonna play it right now, but mind you, it is kind of long, though, for a story I posted on Instagram. It was the longest story I've ever posted in my life. I felt like shit because I hate doing that. But the whole thing was so funny. But this is him basically ranting on how he thinks I was going to get sex trafficked by a girl half my size at a country concert. And mind you, there was no accent. She had no accent. I had no accent. And so I don't know where this accent came from. And usually, like, the conversation is like 80% accurate. But here it is.
And she comes up, I like your dance moves. I heard you singing along to all of Orville's songs. Do you know him well? I listen to him just about doggone every day.
I don't sound like that.
Well, you kind of did. And she's like, oh, well, I'm from Lafayette, Louisiana. She had a song about me and my people. And you say, well, by golly. I'm about 5 hours south of here. And she says, oh, did you drive to see him? And you say, oh, no, we took this big bird that flies in the sky. She said, a flying device? And you said, that's exactly what happened. What is it? She acted like she never fucking heard of a plane. She was like, oh, you never been in a... She said, how'd you get here so fast to get here? And you're like, oh, we took this thing in the sky, it's called a plane. She's like, a plane? My papa never told me anything about a plane. How about you and tell me about your ways and your culture? Spencer goes home with her. Great. He's like, yeah. Like, okay, I was fucking dancing. I was like dancing around. I'm like, oh, did you even fucking notice this girl?
No.
Exactly. I mean, I don't care if you were to text me and be like, dude, one of her friends was like, hey, you and your friend. Oh my god, I cannot fathom. Your friend over there was dancing like a fucking god, and you, oh my god, the way he moved his hips. How about you come to a bar with us? I guarantee that is not a fucking thought in their mind, because the first thing they're thinking of, he was in that VIP section. He must have money. Melissa, how about you come over here? We persuade these two boys to come back to our place. I have no fucking clue what her name is. It doesn't matter. Tell her we're in 807. You tell her we're in 810. So we can see 3 big old buff guys coming walking down the fucking... What is this called? Coming down the fucking aisle. Coming looking for some... The hallway.
She wants to know how long I'm in town for. How long, what should I tell her?
For a fucking weekend. See what she fucking does.
Now, it was funny. It really was funny. And she texted me right after, and she just wanted to hang out at the bar. It really just turned out that we were in like a VIP section. We had our own like little security guard. It turned out I can see through bullshit like with girls and stuff like that. Like I'm not very easily attracted to pussy. Um, like a girl could just like fly. Like some of my friends just do. It's unbelievable. Like they'll go up to a guy. Like I've seen this shit. We've been out to like Newport bars, and one of like I have like a few very hot friends that we go with, and usually because it's like when we're with them, guys will just buy them drinks, and they just like we don't want it. They're trying to like we it's too much carbs, and I'm like, okay. I mean, you're still trying. Like they're always trying to impress us. Like they're always like, oh, this fucking bracelet costs $6,000. My fucking. Don't you think my boobs are huge? Like, or they don't say that shit, but they say like, they'd be like, they brag all the time, and I'm like, we look at it, we're like, hey, that you're not impressing us. Like, we know the real you kind of thing, and like we know, like once you get to know somebody, you're like, it's fucking gross, no matter how good looking you are. But they go up to guys and they just like, I watched this shit happen specifically 3 weeks ago. She goes up to a guy and literally looks at him and goes, "You want to buy me a drink?" He goes, "Yeah, what do you want?" Like this guy didn't even like this guy was fucking hypnotized or something. This guy didn't even seem interested. It just seemed like something he had to do. He's like, "Yeah, what do you want?" And she's like, how about a cranberry vodka?" And he's like, "Okay, cool." And he turns around and like I'm right behind him, like I'm already at the bar, and he's just kind of like, "Hey, man, she wants cranberry vodka." And I was like, "Yes." Yeah. She asked that so many times to different guys tonight. I didn't say that to him, but he gets it, gives it to her, and she goes, "Thank you," and then walks away. And then he just doesn't even seem phased. And I'm like, huh? Dude, if a girl comes, I swear, if a girl ever came up to me and she's like, "You want to buy me a drink?" I would just fuck, I would absolutely fuck with her. I'd be like, "I'm not even 21 yet." She's like, yeah, well, just like I romanticize it, but this is the shit I think about. Like when I'm out in public or I'm with somebody or just alone, I like romanticize. I daydream of like shit, like happy, like I want a girl to come up to me, like, "Can I buy you a drink?" Not because like I want a girl to hit on me, but I just want to look at her and just be like, "Yes, oh, actually, no, that kind of would be fucked up, to be honest, because I feel like most girls aren't like those, my friends." But um, the fuck was that? Scary. Can you hear the birds? Fucking dude, it's morning. Anyways, if I go, fuck, what was I trying to get at? Oh yeah, so I can see through bullshit where she comes up to me and she gives me her number or whatever, and I'm like, okay, she's gonna fucking, she clearly it did get like it was very obvious that she was just only talking to me because we were in the VIP section. So she goes, "Oh, we're at this bar next door," and I'm like, "Oh, cool. Well, I'm already in San Francisco. I'm like 30 minutes away." She goes, "Oh, well, how long are you in town for?" And I was like, "I don't know, like till tomorrow." She's like, "Okay," and then didn't reply to me. And then I texted her the next day. I was like, "Well, I feel bad. Like it does, dude. It takes a lot of balls to come up to a guy and just ask for his number." So I was like, "Okay, well, it takes a lot of balls or just like zero decorum, just like zero, just like don't give a fuck. I just want to like fucking get free drinks. Um, but I felt the next morning I was like, "Hi," and she didn't reply. So I was like, "Okay, cool." She was just obviously into just like the fucking the VIP section, which is cool. I don't give a shit. Never gonna see her again. What the fuck? I don't care. Fucking love her. Let's see. Quick little thing that's not really funny, but like interesting to me. Something I'm passionate about. I recently you're not gonna be able to see it now, but I'm sure when I have other. I guess I could just turn the camera. What the fuck. So I bought. So loud. I bought. So for this wall, this wall I have vines, right? Or fuck do you call it? Hedges, and I have lights in it. Now I don't think you guys can ever like see the whole thing, but it's an entire wall of a hedge wall with lights. I wanted firefly lights, but couldn't find them. But there's another wall where the two other microphones are, and I was like, "What do I want to do there?" Most people were like, "Paint it." Yeah, I could, but then also, if it's fucking stupid, I got to deal with it. But one thing is what I've looked at is there's like acoustic panels, so there's less echo, and so I was looking at panels to buy, and I decided to build my own. So what I did was I bought these 2 big ass picture frames that are made out of duck cotton. Fucking no, it's like a portrait canvas. And I bought fox fur, which I don't know if it's real. Just preferencing for the future, if anyone gets mad at me because I have fur on my wall, I'm just gonna tell you it's fake. It might be real, but I think it's fake. But check it out, pretty cool. There's one, and there's 2, and there's me. Can't really. I feel like you can't really. This shit's probably not even leveled anymore. You can't really see, but it's very furry. But I do notice actually so far that there's less of an echo. Or not. I don't fucking know. Looks cool though. The last thing I wanted to talk about was a story that I was told while I was camping. Now, it's very funny and very fucking gross. So, if you like funny, stick around. If you don't like gross, it's funny. So one of the girls that was with us when we went camping had brought up her old roommate's story that was casually brought up during a fucking dinner, I believe, where her roommate, which was a girl, and her boyfriend, which is a boy, would have sex. They would have sex, and one time during sex, their dog, whose name is Derpy, Derpy, Derpy. You can only imagine what this dog probably looks like. Probably looks a little derpy. Their dog Derpy, one day, one glorious romantic night, their dog Derpy was in their room while they were having sexual intercourse. Now you can only imagine where this story is going. It just so happened that now this story seems fake. I still think that it might be, but it's funny, and also don't think it's fake, because why would anybody tell anybody that this would ever happen? Why would anybody make this up? Their dog Derpy, one day during doggy style position, came up behind the boy and was eating his ass. Now, how does that happen? How big is this dog? How low was he doing doggy? How did the dog know to just go in at his ass? I don't know. Maybe it was trained. Maybe it was premeditated. Maybe it was just random. I like to hope it's random. I actually like to hope this story wasn't real at all, because that's fucking disgusting. Dog ate the guy's ass. Now, during this ass eating fucking fiesta, he kind of goes, "Dog's eating my ass." She goes, "Fine with me." And he goes, "You know what, babe? It's fine with me too." It was so fine with them that this became a regular thing. They have done it a few times. And even discussing is that we need to finish the dog. We did it up. It's all good. Gonna cross over that one. It's fucking gross. No one really wants to hear that. I mean, I do. I think that's funny, but like, I feel like just so many people just don't want to hear that. It's pretty disgusting. But yeah, they have child protective services, right? I'm sure they have that for dogs too. Somebody should call those people. Okay? How about we get this dog out of this ass-eating home and put it down? Or not. Dog's named Derpy, so. Dog was fucked. The name it was the day it was named. So that's disgusting. And now, we were told that story while we were camping around a campfire at night, unexpectedly, and it was very shocking, as you would imagine, probably as it was for you to hear. Now, my question is how does the dog know to do that? How, like, I get that it can know how to do that after the fifth time of them trying it, but how did it know to do it from the beginning? And how were these people not in fucking jail? Not jail. How are they not in psych wards? Um, to me, if I was ever having sexual intercourse in an animal, mine or hers, came into the room, I would immediately stop. The dog doesn't have to be jumping on the bed. The dog just has to be in the room. The dog enters the room. I'm stopping. I'm putting on my clothes. And I'm leaving. No, I won't. I'll probably just get the fucking animal. Like, get out. You know what I mean? Why doesn't this couple do that? I don't know. Not everyone's brains are working right. No, I don't know. Not everyone's brains are mashed potatoes, but these people, theirs were. And I hope to God that Derpy's doing okay now. You can only hope. You can only hope. But I got about 50 minutes. I had a lot. I feel like there was so much that happened that I could talk about, but I'm going to just start writing more stuff down. Hopefully I'll have a lot of good stuff to talk about next week. I know I will. Tomorrow I'm taking a limo to a racetrack, and then next Wednesday I am flying to Dallas, Texas. No, I'm not. I'm going to Austin, Texas for 4 days with a big group of guys and a big old Airbnb. So hopefully next week I'll have some good old punchlines for you. Did I look so fucking miserable? Oh. Dude, it's 3 in the morning. I'm going to bed. Good night, guys. Thanks for watching.
I be moving at my pace, 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 pace. I be moving at my pace, 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 pace. I be moving with no haste at my pace.
Recording?
At my pace.
And we're ready to go,
With
Spence.
no haste at my pace.
All right, Spence, take it away. Thank you, Spencer. Peculiar. That's peculiar. That's interesting.